Now in this topic, what we will study is two things. One is we will study displacement current, and the next thing we'll study is the topic 8.7, where you have conductors, insulators, free charges, bound charges, dielectrics. So displacement current also is a separate topic, and 8.7 also is a separate topic. Let me first finish displacement current, then I'll come to topic 8.7. Now, in a capacitor, in a capacitor there are two plates filled with a dielectric in between. Now, since there is a dielectric in between, you know that actual free current cannot flow, okay? But some current actually flows between the plates of a capacitor, and that current which flows is called as displacement current, and it is denoted by ID. And displacement current is also called as charge separation current. And why it is called charge separation current or displacement current is because it is the current due to bound charges. Bound charges are the opposite of free charges, which you will learn in the next topic. What is the bound charges? But you should know one thing: between the plates of a capacitor, it's a dielectric. Therefore, there is no free charge. Dielectric means it will not conduct. Therefore, the current which is displacing through that plate is called as displacement current, and the other name for displacement current is the charge separation current. And if they ask in the exam what is displacement current in one sentence, displacement current is the current due to the bound charges. Very, very important word, bound charges. Now, they'll ask you what is the expression for displacement current. Remember, there are two types of current in the whole capacitor circuit. One is displacement current and one more is conducting current. Displacement current is IC and conducting current is ID. Now, the derivation for displacement current, please look at the board. You know this formula from capacitor. C is equal to AK epsilon naught by D. From where did you get this formula? This is the formula for a parallel plate capacitor. You know this is the formula for a parallel plate capacitor. AK epsilon naught by D. I'll take C is equal to Q by V, which you anyway know Q is equal to CV. I will take C is equal to Q by V. Therefore, Q by V is equal to AK epsilon naught by D. Take V on this side. Therefore, Q is equal to AK epsilon naught V by D. And you know V by D is E. Therefore, Q is equal to AK epsilon naught by AK epsilon naught into E. Differentiate both sides with respect to time. Therefore, Q will become dQ by dt. AK epsilon naught a constant for a given capacitor, dE by dt. Therefore, this particular quantity is called conducting current, and this particular quantity is called displacement current. Both should be equal because the dimension should match. In any equations, LHS and RHS dimension should match. Therefore, if you look at this equation, dQ by dt is equal to this. This particular term represents conducting current IC, and this particular expression represents displacement current ID. Therefore, I have written, instead of dQ by dt, I write IC. IC is equal to AK epsilon d by dt, where it is ID. This is the derivation. So if they ask you what is the notation for displacement current, it is ID. What is the unit of displacement current? Unit of displacement current will be ampere itself. What is the definition of displacement current? It is the current due to bound charges. What is the derivation? In derivation, you start with this and you come to this, where this is your expression for displacement current. If they directly ask you in MCQ what is the expression for displacement current, this should be the answer. So this completes your displacement current topic. Now, if you look at your textbook section 8.7, if you look at the textbook section 8.7, you have something called conductors, insulators, dielectrics. So we'll go one by one. The first thing they have mentioned is what is conductors. I think from high school and 11th, you know what are conductors, what are insulators, what are semiconductors. So again, we'll do a recap. Conductors are substances which conduct electricity. Why do they conduct electricity? Because they have free charges. And where are the free charges found? Free electrons. Which are there? The other valence electrons. So valence electrons are loosely held by the nucleus. They are free to move around. And examples of conductors will be metals, earth, human body, animal body, etc. Insulators are the ones which do not have any free charges. They are not free to conduct. And semiconductors are in between. Therefore, if you look at the important definitions over here, conductors have free electrons, valence electrons. which are loosely held by the nucleus. Example, you can see metals, earth, human and animal body. Now, we have to know the difference between free charges and bound charges. It's very simple. The charges which are free to move are called free charges. And charges which are not free to move, they are fixed. They are called as bound charges. The charges which are free to move, for example, the outermost shell of an electron, valence electron, they are free to move. So those are called as free charges. And the charges which cannot move, nucleus cannot move, positive. The inner shell of the electrons also cannot move. Therefore, those are called as bound charges. We remember we did it in displacement current, the current due to bound charges. Therefore, very little current, but it is called as bound charges. So you know free charges are because of valence electrons and bound charges are because of nucleus and inner electrons. Means this also cannot move, inner electrons also cannot move. Therefore, you understood what are conductors, what is the difference between free charges and bound charges. Now we'll come to a topic called dielectric. Now people say dielectrics or insulators. They always use it in conjunction. Now the main difference between dielectric and an insulator is dielectric is an insulating material which can be polarized. Polarization is a very important word which distinguishes insulating material and a dielectric. In fact, dielectric is a subset of insulator itself. Therefore, if you can Google this particular topic, polarization, what is polarization, how the charges get concentrated, you will get a very, very good idea. Therefore, insulators also do not conduct, dielectrics also do not conduct. Therefore, what is the key difference? First thing is, dielectric is a type of insulator itself, which can be polarized. But see the definition. Dielectrics are insulating substances which can be polarized. How they can be polarized? Through small localized displacement of charges. Remember, for polarization, charges have to move, but here it is through localized small displacement of charges. And dielectrics are classified into two types. One is polar dielectrics and one is non-polar dielectrics. To know what is polar dielectric and non-polar dielectric, you should know what are polar molecules and what are non-polar molecules. Now if you look at the board, in dielectrics, I told you the keyword between dielectrics and insulator is polarized. How are they polarized? Small displacement of charges. Very important definition of a dielectric. And how many types of dielectrics do we have? Polar and non-polar, which are the two types of dielectrics. Now, before you go to polar and non-polar, this becomes a chemistry topic, but you should understand very, very important 4 differences between a polar molecule and a non-polar molecule. Polar molecule, if you see the first statement, center of mass between the positively charged particles and the negatively, they do not coincide because it is asymmetric. When can something coincide? When it is symmetric, it can coincide. But when it is not symmetric, it will not coincide. Therefore, polar molecules are also called asymmetric molecules. Since they are asymmetric, the center of mass of positive and negative do not coincide. And non-polar molecules, these are the molecules in which center of mass between positive and negative coincide because they are symmetric. Now, since it is asymmetric, it is a bent. Bent means it will always have some angle, and in chemistry it is called permanent dipole moment. Okay, anything that is bent will always have a dipole moment. Therefore, polar molecules will always have a permanent dipole moment. Non-polar molecule actually is a linear molecule which has 0 angle or which has 0 dipole moment. And if you see an example of polar molecule, it is H2O. If you see, center is not coinciding in a straight line. It is a bent structure. But if you see H2, they are coinciding. The 2 molecules of hydrogen are coinciding. This is non-polar. So if you see 1, 2, 3 with an example. So if you notice, or it's a very simple and a very common question for 2 marks. And nowadays with the new paper pattern, it can come in for 1 mark. What is the main difference between polar and non-polar? Main difference is this one. Center of mass does not coincide and center of mass coincides. Here, polar molecule, you can also write it as asymmetric, and non-polar, you can write it as symmetric. And which kind of molecules have permanent dipole moment? Polar. If you want, you can remember P for polar, P for permanent. and over here non-polar has zero dipole moment. An example is here H2. See, they do not coincide. See the center. See the shape, you get it a bent structure. Here you get it a straight structure. Next we come to a topic called polarization. Polarization denoted by P vector. And if you notice, the dipole moment per unit volume is called polarization. It is similar to magnetism, magnetization. In magnetization, if you see, if you have correlated, magnetization of magnetism and polarization of electric, both are similar. Therefore, the dipole moment per unit volume is called polarization. And if you look at the formula for polarization, okay, it is P vector is equal to xi e. This is called xi, Greek letter, and it is actually susceptibility. Xi is only susceptibility. Even in magnetism you have that susceptibility, but over here you have xi e, which means it is the electrical susceptibility of the dielectric medium, which is a constant. Therefore, if you look at this formula, polarization is equal to xi e, where this is a constant called electrical susceptibility. E, you know, is electric field. Now, since this is a constant, I can say more electric field, more polarization takes place, because if you look at the formula, polarization is directly proportional to electric field. Polarization is directly proportional to electric field. More polarization, if I need, I have to increase the electric field, because this is a constant. And electrical susceptibility of a vacuum, very important when it comes to problems and MCQs. For vacuum, electrical susceptibility is always taken as 0. Okay, please remember. Therefore, you have finished what is dielectric, 2 types of dielectric, 4 differences between polar, non-polar, definition of polarization, formula for polarization. From this formula, you know that P is directly proportional to E. This is called as electrical susceptibility. And for vacuum, electrical susceptibility is 0. In short, this is the symbol for susceptibility. This is electrical susceptibility, and this is magnetic susceptibility. This completes topic 8.7.